folks. How are you? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. I was going to say something else, but that's okay. I'm your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Yes, it is the 27th of March. It is 2015. It is another day at the end of another week. And we have a lot to look forward to. And the thing is a lot of people understand that there's a lot on their plate. But why is that? Why is that? Now, I know I could have said that at the beginning of the week. People are busy. People are doing everything they can. People are, whatever they're doing to survive. But we have a lot on our plate. Have you noticed that the plans that you make for tomorrow seem to get in the way of everything else? Have you noticed that when you make plans, you notice that the work that you do, no matter if it's landscaping or office or whatever, you ever notice that your occupation becomes more and the process within that occupation, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're working in a warehouse or an office building or whatever, that work piles up. You ever notice that? You make plans. It's like, I got a vacation coming up next week. And then your work piles up. You ever notice that? There's a reason for that, by the way. And it's a very, innocuous reason, really. It's just that probably no one in your occupation can do the job as good as you can. You see, if you tell people what you can do, and you know that you yourself have confidence knowing full well that you can do it better than anyone else or more efficiently or, in a much better way than someone else, people expect more from you. So when you start out your week, either in your office or a warehouse or wherever you're working, by the end of the week, you feel so tired that you can't do anything. You can't do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You just don't. Because the work piles up. When you make plans for anything, the work piles up. Has that happened to you? I know that's happened to me. Several times, actually. I tell people, I'm going to take a vacation or I'm going to go out this weekend or whatever, and during the week I notice that I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed that the work piled up. I noticed I got a little busier. I don't know why. So my point is, pay attention to your surroundings. Because the more that you want something for yourself, the more that someone else doesn't want that. And they're going to do everything they can to stop you. Now, I know that's a whole vague type of situation and something to think about. I don't have any specifics on that. I'm just giving you a thought process to use. So you might want to think about what you do, who you talk to, what your plans are, but more than anything else, think about what you're doing as a career. Not just an everyday job, but a career. Think about that one for a minute. And in a moment, I shall return. We'll get on to some of the stuff and Harry Reid's retirement. Talk to you in a bit. Be right back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz is your home for all the independent music and movies you need. For more information, go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Do you like old-time radio shows? Do you do voiceovers and want to hone your abilities? Have you ever wanted to try your hand at voice acting? Well, you are in luck because Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is casting voice characters for a play currently in pre-production. For more information, contact Eastland Radio Repertory Theater at eastlandradiotheater@usa.com or simply go to their website at eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
Hey, good day to you. This is the Wayne Esper Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up and you're going, where are my pants? You ever have one of them mornings? You have one of them mornings. You ever have those moments when you're talking to someone and your lips just don't move quite right and the words don't come out quite right? All of that. It's going to be a light show today. You can see where I'm going from here. But I'm going to get into some serious news as well. First of all, Harry Reid is not going to seek re-election due to, and his reasoning is, due to his accident. Yes. He was on a treadmill, he slipped, he fell, he slammed his face into something, or he was on pulling something, I don't know. He had an accident. I think somebody just beat the crap out of him, I don't know. But, point is, he's not seeking re-election, which is okay because he's a freaking progressive. He's a liberal. He doesn't give a crap about you, and he doesn't give a crap about Nevada. He was born in a brothel, people, in Searchlight, Nevada, okay? At least that's the story that's been told. I mean, think about this, folks. Say your boss at work looks at you one day and says, you know what? I've been doing this for 20 years. You guys are great, but I'm retiring. No one's taking over anything right now because I don't have any successors, and no one in mind, but I'm just going to close the doors. Give you guys 90 days and you're out of here. How would you feel? Oh, that would suck for you, wouldn't it? Well, with Harry Reid retiring, I think there's a lot of people expressing themselves quite adamantly about his retirement, a sigh of relief, if you will. Get him out. Now, I don't know the man personally, and I don't know, he might be a loving father, grandfather, all of that. He might be just a wonderful person, but the facts stand as a testament to his uselessness in the state of Nevada. I mean, it really comes down, it really boils down to the fact that what did he do? And all of his supporters will say, oh, he did great and he did this. And he had a relative back in the 1800s that got hung for something, okay? He's a freaking criminal. And I use that word very loosely in quotes. He's a criminal. Frankly, most of the people in politics in the state of Nevada, excluding a handful of people, most of the politicians in Nevada are criminals and come from, well, let's just say a connection to other criminals. I can name a few, but I think your history here in Nevada can expose them. Two people that come to mind right now is Lefty Rosenthal and Bugsy Siegel. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay. So we have Harry Reid retiring. Yay. Let's have a party now. And then we have some other things going on as well. We have other things going on as well. Okay. I'm going to go to, I couldn't get there yesterday, and I don't know why. But I go to Drudge Report. I'm going to go to Drudge Report and tell you exactly what this Lufthansa airliner, this co-pilot, all of that did. We know about the pilot leaving his position in the plane. We know that the Germanwings plane was there. It's a low-budget end of Lufthansa Airlines. It was reported today, and I have it up on the Facebook page, that the co-pilot recently converted to Islam. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's on him. But the Daily Mail.co.uk is reporting mass killer co-pilot who deliberately crashed Germanwings plane had to stop training because he was suffering depression and burnout. Black box voice recorder reveals chilling final moments of Airbus A320. Passengers heard screaming in final moments before the crash that killed 150 people. Prosecutor, quote, the intention was to destroy the plane. Death was instant, unquote. Co-pilot was named today as 28-year-old German Andreas Gunther Lubitz. Raises serious questions about why he was allowed to fly commercial jet. Airline boss insists Lubitz was 100% fit to fly after passing medical tests. Now, if anything comes out of this, let's hope it's the truth. Let's hope that we understand that some people just aren't meant to be behind the controls of a jetliner. And this goes without saying, specifically for pilots in America, all over, pilots in general, just pilots in general. It's amazing to me that they would have allowed this person to fly the plane. It just amazes me that they would have allowed this person even to control something that had the lives of other people in his hands. So I just wanted to mention that because it's important to know that no matter if you're flying a plane or driving a car, you have to have a mental capacity that is capable of withstanding all of the stresses that are around you. Now, still at Drudge Report, still looking for articles that seem to pop out. Here's one. How many people are into tech? How many people are into looking at the technology that is around us and being able to look at it and say, and still be amazed at the innovation and creation of various futuristic looking things with the technology that we have? Who is out there that does this? I know I do. Call me a closet geek for all I care. I don't mind. But I've always been interested in technology. I've always been interested in what can it do for humanity. There's also the good and the bad in all of that, so you have to take that into consideration. From itproportal.com. itproportal.com. I want you to I want you to understand that technology can be good, can be used for good or not. It's entirely up to the person creating whatever they're creating through the technology that we have. Barclay Ballard is a contributor to itproportal.com, and he writes the headline, "The Cyborg Revolution, Technology's Body Modifications." Now, this is an interesting article because looking at the technology that we have now, think about this, folks. Just put this in your cranium and think about this just for a minute. Where would we be without technology? And think about how technology grew over the last 100 and some odd years. From Orville and Wilbur Wright creating a biplane that took off and flew, a quarter mile or something like that? To the satellites we have floating around our planet. You think about that for a minute. Think about the growth and expansion of the technology in today's world. And think about how good it would be to use that technology for the most positive things in the world. Feeding people, helping people in their health. And think about the good things that technology could provide, has provided, will provide. But also think about those nut jobs out there that want to use technology for evil purposes, for nefarious purposes. For power and control. There used to be this thought that if a person got into a position of leadership, he would then become corrupt and want power and control. Well, we have Obama. And we have other people just like that. But now you couple that with the technology that is out there. And you take a person who is so warped in the head and wanting nothing but power and control, the technology that he has, well, let's just say the outcome is not going to be good for everybody else. Okay? Barclay Ballard, contributor to itproportal.com. I'll put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Headline, The Cyborg Revolution, Technology's Body Modifications. The primary goal of technology should be to improve our lives in some way. So far, that has seen us embrace computers, the internet, smartphones, and most recently, wearable gadgets. Keep that in mind, folks. However, many are predicting that the future will not see us hold or wear technology, but have it directly implanted into our bodies. Already, the transhumanism movement is seeing technology implants gain greater acceptance, but many still feel uneasy about the ethics involved when we attempt to improve our bodies artificially. In response to the advances made in body modification technology, we've looked at 5 high-profile examples below. I'm going to put this on there so you can read them yourself. Put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page so that you can read this. And I want to preface what you're about to read with this. Okay? I remember being in junior high school and being doing some art is what it was. And I remember seeing a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, and it was depicting a cyborg. As a matter of fact, it was around the same time as Lee Major's $6 Million Man. It was around that time, folks. I want to tell you right now that when I was young, 13, 14 years old, around in there, something hit me intellectually. And I sat there for a moment in that classroom, and I thought to myself, this cannot be good. Looking at that picture. And so I thought to myself, well, what does this mean? And how is this going to translate into a better form or a better environment for humanity? I began to do some research, even at 13 and 14 years old, folks. And I began to see some things popping out at me in several areas. And the one thing that stood clear to me, right there in front of me intellectually, was the fact that this has been going on for years. That the technology, quote unquote, that has been used to propel humanity in the direction that it was at that time has been going on for years. Okay? Now, of course, that's vast. That's just a blanket statement. Yes, technology has grown and progressed over the course of many decades, many centuries as well. But when you look at the current technology of 2015, when you look at the current technology 50 years ago, 1965, ask yourself this question, folks. What was the purpose? Just think about that. Because remember, they had, even in the 50s, scientists And college students built robots. We now call them androids. In the 60s and 70s, certain departments in universities were discovering certain things, specifically in the psychology departments. They began to see certain things, began to understand a little more about how the mind works. And in 1968, they took a piece of technology and decided to work with that in the psychology departments. They began over the years, over the decades, to understand that, hey, certain things have to be enhanced, certain things need a jump start, certain things mentally have to be a certain way. We now have technology that helps people who are paraplegic walk. We now have technology that helps the blind see. We have technology that goes far beyond what you see on the shelves in the stores. But they're not bringing it out to the general public only because of the fact that they don't want, quote unquote, the enemy to get it. Well, guess what? They already have it. So the technology that we see in today's world is nothing new. It's just much more advanced than it was 50 years ago. And as we see through our movies, in our music, in our television shows, that technology, that growth, the growth spurt of this advanced technology is not going to stop anytime soon. Now, how do you couple that with the stresses of humanity, with everyday life and your plans for tomorrow and your vacation in 2 weeks? And how do you couple that massive amount of information with just taking every day of your life and living the best that you can? I don't have all the answers, but here's something that I can say is an answer from my perspective. Take what you know is good, ethical, and moral, and run with it. Take what you know is right for you and build upon that. Take what you know is real from your perspective and make the advancements that you need to make for yourself, for your neighborhood, for your family, for your, whatever it is. And look at all the other people who want to use this technology for not so good purposes and throw them out. Just throw out all those ideas. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, if you do this with this, it can give you if you take this implant in your brain, you won't have to read a book anymore. You can just plug yourself right into your Kindle and there it is. Would you really want that, folks? Because I know I don't. I don't want to wind up looking like Johnny Mnemonic or being part of a matrix. You know what I'm saying? And some people say we already are. Some scientists have already said that we live in a similar matrix as you've seen in the movies. You might want to go research that, folks. You might want to check that one out. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I'll be back right after this. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. Eastland Radio Theater presents ace in the hole. The scanners aren't showing anything. I know that ship is out here somewhere. If I was a betting man, I would have to say I would be off this base before your security knew I was even here. If I were you, I wouldn't trust someone with a blaster pointed at their back. Another day, another few thousand credits for me. Not a bad day, if I may say so myself. Not a bad day at all. EastlandRadioTheater.weebly.com. The best in independent books, films, and music. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz promotes and plays original indie music from all around the world. If you've got the internet, you can be heard. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Do you like old-time radio shows? Do you do voiceovers and want to hone your abilities? Have you ever wanted to try your hand at voice acting? Well, you are in luck because Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is casting voice characters for a play currently in pre-production. For more information, contact Eastland Radio Repertory Theater at eastlandradiotheater@usa.com or simply go to their website at eastlandradiotheater.weebly.com.
Let's do the time warp again. New West Theater of Reno, Nevada is currently seeking actors and actresses to be a part of a summer musical spectacular. You can be a part of the most ballsiest show ever. New West Theater presents Richard O'Brien's The Rocky Horror Show. Contact New West Theater at newwesttheater@usa.com for more information.
Shall we play a game?
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
I am wondering, why are you here?
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 27th of March 2015. Yes. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a week. What a month. What a year. What a life. I'm telling you, folks. Life is good because I always tell people, hey, when you open your eyes and put your feet on the floor and stand up, hey, you're going to have a great day. You know? It is what it is. Now, There's so much to go through. There's so much to there's so many ways that we can blame others for how situations have come about. We can blame our next door neighbor for everything, but if we don't have proof to back up what our neighbor has done, that accusation is moot. Okay? But we can look at this president of this United States, and we can see the problems because he's functioning in a way that is, 1, immoral, and 2, illegal, and 3, unethical, and shall I go on? I'm sure you see this as well. But for those Obamanites, for the Obamians, for the supporters of this progressive non-citizen, it should be apparent to them just how badly this man has functioned. I believe that without sitting down and talking with him, but watching what he does and how he speaks, I believe this man is a total sociopath. I believe that the aspects of his platform that he has discussed in his news conferences and in his elections and all this, that, and the other thing, I believe should have warned everyone what this man was truly like. Remember, in 2007, we never heard anything about a man named Barack Hussein Obama. He was a senator at the time. But then all of a sudden, somewhere about spring or summer of 2008, we see a push for this man to become president. Why? Because wasn't there anyone else in the debates that you saw that was any better than this man? Yes, there were a few. And yes, he went up against, I think, one of the most corrupt people in Congress, John McCain. Oh, you can't talk bad about John McCain. He's a war hero. No. I will not recognize his heroism if he is not functioning in a way that is positive for the rest of America. When John McCain goes to another country and stands for a photo op with terrorists, that to me right there tells me I should not even pay attention to anything that he says or does or has done. Period. Okay? So we have Barack Obama, we have John McCain, we have other things going on. And I want all you Obamanites out there to understand one very simple thing. You are absolutely wrong. Can I make it any plainer than that? Now, I want people in Pakistan and in the Netherlands and in Mexico, I want you folks to understand that we love you citizens. We hate your government. We like you. We don't like your politicians. And for all those people in Mexico that seem to think, oh, we can just walk right into the United States to get a job, think again, moron. You cannot just walk into a country and just, hey, I'm here, give me whatever I want. I couldn't do that in the Netherlands, could I? I can't do that in England, could I? I can't do that in Canada. As an American citizen who has family in Germany, I can't go over there and tell the German government, hey, I'm an American, take care of me. I want all your perks. I don't want to work, I don't want to do anything. I'll barely work here and there, but you know what they'd do? They'd pack my ass up and send me back to the U.S. Okay? Even in the USA, we have division in each state. The news that you hear about Detroit when you're living in California is probably more, it's exaggerated, folks. Because I know people that live near Detroit, and they're going, yeah, it's a really messed up town, but it's not as bad as the news tells you. Same thing with New York. I got family in New York. I got family in New York City. I got family in Albany. I got family in Manhattan. I got family all over the place. Same thing in Ohio, where Brian Lang at LiveTruthRadio.com lives, and where Pete Santilli is now broadcasting from. He left California. FEMA Region 5 they're now in. I got family in Columbus. I got family in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Pickford. I got them all over the place. For me to know the truth about something, I have to talk to the people who are actually there. And when you look at Barack Obama on TV and you hear him say the things he says, guarantee you it's going to be a complete and utter lie. So the people in Washington, D.C. have to blow the whistle and come to independent and alternative medias and say, hey, here's what's actually going on because we're here in these meetings. Here's this. So to get the truth, you have to, to get the truth, you have to go for it. You have to stop thinking that you know better than everybody else, and you're going to have to just sit down, shut up, and start listening to people. I'm talking to you Obamanites out there who really know what's going on. So all you people in Netherlands and Pakistan and Mexico and all this, let me just lay this out as simply as possible for you. This country's screwed up. Stay away. If you want socialism, Marxism, communism, aren't you living in that now? Stay in your own country and fight for your own independence. Fight for your own freedom, security, liberty, and freedom. Peace, freedom, liberty, and security in a country with people who are left alone to do what they need to do to grow, and become better and make society better. You leave them alone and the country becomes much better than what it was. But if your country's leaders suppress you, try to control you, surveil you like they are here, and try to control you, then guess what? That's not a country I want to live in, folks. That's what's happening here in the United States of America. Citizens of Pakistan, Netherlands, Mexico, every place else my show's listened to around the world, we like you people. We just hate your government. Don't come here. Fight your government right there. I've seen people in Tunisia. I've seen people in Egypt and in Greece and all of that. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people getting out in the streets. We don't do that here in America. Why? Because we're pansy-ass, whiny little bitches. And we cater to the government. And we're just like, whatever. Not me. Not Pete Santilli. Not Brian Lang. Oh, hell no. Not Nick Tucker. No way. We stand up to these morons. And we say, we've had enough of this bull crap. Hey, Mexico, citizens, how about doing what you can to bring some sort of, I want to say sanity, but obviously your government down there is completely out of control and insane. Find a way that best suits you to bring peace, freedom, security, and liberty to your nation. We don't mind you coming here. Do it legally, though, please. Thank you. I'll shake your hand at the border and buy you coffee. Excuse me. But don't come here, because our country is now a third world country, just like yours. Hello, we've collapsed. Why do you want to come here? And that includes people all over the world, Pakistan, Iraq, whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't come here, because our country is totally in the crapper, okay? The American dream got flushed down the toilet a long time ago. Okay? So don't bother coming here. I've read stories, as a matter of fact, where illegal immigrants from Mexico came here, couldn't find a job or something that they, wanted to do. They were here 6 months to a year, and they packed up and went back to Mexico. Why? No jobs. Folks, let me point something out. Here's the reality of the situation. Don't come to this country. There are no jobs. You know why? Because there's almost 95 million, almost a third of the American population, out of work. And this regime in Washington, D.C. is opening the borders to have people come here to take the jobs that we need for us to help our families, much like you, but they're not allowing us to get the jobs. And we were born and raised right here, folks. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you got to do what you got to do. So if you were driving truck making $15 an hour, you might as well, get a job at 7-Eleven making $8. What? Excuse me? It is now time, folks, to understand one thing. This government, this United States of America is divided, and with that division, we are going to collapse. It's right there, folks. We are at the edge of the abyss, and you've got the Obama regime ready to push us over the cliff. Gerald Celente talks about it. A few other people talk about it. Max Kaiser talks about it. And if you look at the financials and you examine them closely, you will see an increase in GDP almost matching the debt that we have. And if you look at the products or the production level, it has gone down. Why? Because we are more dependent upon imports than we are exporting anything. Excuse me. So, do you understand? Because big business operates and controls Washington, D.C. The corporations operate Washington, D.C. And the more that the corporations move the chess pieces in Washington, D.C., and lie, cheat, steal, and, well, whatever else they do, we're never going to have in America a United States ever again that was as strong as it was from 1835 to 1913. Okay? We're never going to have that industrial revolution that we had prior and after World War II. We're never going to have it. because too many people are sitting on their ass in their homes watching ESPN, watching some sports, watching something, distracting themselves from what's really going on around the nation. And they sure as hell am not going to get up. They're not going to get up out of their easy chairs, off of their couches, out of their cushy little trendy houses, and get out in the streets and make any noise. Because, hey, citizens of Pakistan, Netherlands, Mexico, we here in America, there's a vast majority of us that knows what's going on. But I would say anywhere between 40 to 45% of those people are just going to sit down and shut up. Because we are some pansy-ass people and we don't really care. So there are a fraction of people here in the United States that want the rest of the government to collapse. Why? Because they think they can rebuild it in their image. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen. Because they don't have the balls to get out in the street and protest and make changes that have to be made. Yes, I am pointing my finger directly at the American citizens and telling you that you are a lazy bunch of slobs. Why? Because I see it every single freaking day. I went out yesterday. I had some business to take care of, so I went out yesterday. And I saw people walking around. I saw people doing what they were doing, and I'm thinking to myself, do they know exactly why they do what they do? Do they know that the money that they give to that company to purchase their product or service is going to organizations that want open borders, that want the illegals here, that want this country to collapse? Do they know this? And I'm thinking this yesterday while I'm out and about, and I'm wondering to myself. How is it these people haven't got a clue? I'm just curious. So anyway, I got a few minutes here. Let me jam in some headlines. Infowars.com, NSA and Facebook work together. Kurt Nimmo has written that. I will not read that because I don't have time, really, to read that. So I will put that on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Okay? As I try to clear my throat. Don't you hate that? You wake up, you're like, you sound like a demon from hell or something. But yes, NSA and Facebook work together. People should know that by now. And anything that you post on Facebook becomes theirs, whatever it is. Yeah, so we have to use their system against them. Hello, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. Shut your big damn mouth, drop everything, recreate something, and then I'll have a little more respect for you, okay? Anyway, some more. There's one more here. That's kind of weird. This thing does not want to... Browser is kind of acting up just a bit. There we go. It's working now. Fox News covers Jade Helm military exercise. I'll put that up on the American Liberty Radio Network Facebook page. I know that's a mouthful, folks, but hey, American Liberty Radio Network. All right. You can check that out as well. I know from my own experiences what people are capable of, if I can say the word. I know this. I know what they're capable of. I know how things work. I can understand certain things at certain levels. So I'm not stupid, folks. U.S. troops go undercover on American soil. I'll put that on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page as well. I've dealt with certain people in my life in certain ways that have helped them understand what's going on around them. I didn't have to do much. I just had to show them what was going on, and they sat there with their eyes bugging out of their head going, what the hell? Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to see it. A lot of people don't want to see it. A lot of people think that, oh, well, everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory. Oh, we'll vote people out at the next election, and we'll vote people in that we want, and yada, 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 yada. Can you say that's a bunch of crap? Because it is. Your votes don't count, folks. The rules are made up and the points don't count. Okay? I just think that in all honesty, looking at everything around us, if you have an open mind and an open heart and get rid of your preconceived ideas, I can pretty much tell you that from my perspective, okay, my perspective, all right, I can pretty much tell you that at some point, at some point, we've gotten away from helping our neighbors. And we've started getting a lot more selfish with our time, a lot more selfish with our basic needs. And we started looking around and saying, you know what? Piss on them. You know why? Because we have this attitude of what's in it for me. Folks, this is your country. What do you think is in it for you? Peace, freedom, security, and liberty in this nation. And if you don't get up off your ass and start working for it and start defending what you have, you're not going to have it anymore. All right? I'm just telling you like it is, folks. I'm just putting it out there. Just laying it on the line. And again, you people in Pakistan and Mexico and Iraq and even the Russian citizens. Hey, we like you people. We just don't like your government. And besides, the same people that are infiltrating your government and making it screwed up like it is are the same people doing it here in the U.S. All right? So anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm ranted for way too long. So anyway, go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page or the American Liberty Radio Network page, American Liberty Radio Network page on Facebook as well. Check out those articles that I popped up there. Anyway, I shall be here on Monday, folks. Hey, who knows? I might have a live show. So stick around. There's more to come on that. Go to WayneSPierce.com. If you want to contribute to the American Liberty Radio Network, please do. Hey, I'm looking at taking this to the next level. You can be a part of that. Remember, folks, there's a lot out there that you really need to pay attention to, and I would suggest that you do. Because, hey, they have you in their crosshairs, and they're not letting up until they control every aspect of your life. Remember that. And also remember this, folks, and I don't care what country you live in, remember this. This is at the heart of every person in these countries. Liberty is the road, and freedom is the goal. Talk to you Monday, folks. Have a great weekend.